Please pay attention that trading is a game of probabilities. For every single trade that you enter, the result is uncertain, and winning a trade depends on how likely it is to happen. So in practice, by analyzing the past data, you can make predictions on how likely it is for the price to advance or decline. And for this purpose, we have a field of science which is called statistics. In this video, I want to introduce an amazing indicator on TradingView that is built based on a statistical measurement. I'm going to teach you a very accurate trading strategy based on this indicator, so just make sure you watch this video until the end and let's get started. Before we add the indicator, I'm proud to announce that recently I published a book, The Art of Price Action Trading. The link is in the description and you can get it later if you're interested to learn price action trading and take your trading to the next level. Alright, to add the indicator to our chart, here we click on indicators and we search rolling Z-score trend. This one, which is an editor specs indicator and written by Quant Algo. Alright, this is the indicator, and as you can see, it's added here below the chart. This indicator is built based on Z-score, which is a statistical measurement that evaluates a variable's relationship to its average. Z-score is measured in terms of standard deviations from the mean, and in financial markets, it helps us with measuring the volatility of the asset. I don't get into more details regarding Z-score because it is beyond the scope of this video. You can search in Google and you will find many websites explaining Z-score. You can also check the page of this indicator on TradingView where the author has explained how this concept is applied to this indicator. In practice, you only need to know how you can interpret this indicator and use it for trading. As you can see, we have a line here that changes color between green and red, and this is Z-score line, and you can see that it is oscillating above and below the center line, which is set at 0. When the Z-score line is above the center line, the color is green and it tells us that the price is trading above the statistical mean. This shows that we have greater bullish momentum in the market. It can also give us a signal for overbought, which I'll explain it later. When the Z-score line is below the center line, the color is red and it tells us that the price is trading below the statistical mean. This shows greater downside momentum in the market. It can also give us a signal for oversold, which I'll explain it later. So when the Z-score line is above the center line, we have greater upside momentum, and when it is below the center line, we have greater downside momentum. So the center line crossovers can be a signal for upside movement of the price or downside movement of the price. When the Z-score line crosses above the center line, it can be a bullish signal, and when it crosses below the center line, it can be a bearish signal. The default settings of the indicator is a little sensitive, and in the pullbacks or short-term momentum changes in the market, we have crossing of Z-score line above or below the center line, so we can encounter many false signals, as you can see. Depending on your trading strategy and the way that you're going to use this indicator in your strategy, you may need to change the settings. For example, if you want to use this center line crossovers for buy-sell signals, the default settings are okay. You just need to add another indicator for longer term trend of the market and then take the signals in the current trend of the market. Let me show you an example so you better understand. For example, I add MACD, this one, moving average convergence divergence, and then I go to the settings of MACD to change the settings. Here for the fast length I set it at 100, for the slow length I set it at 200, and here for signal smoothing we set it at 50, and then here in the style tab we remove MACD line and signal line because we only need the histogram. This MACD with the special settings that I made can help us with longer term trend of the market. When it is green, the market is trending up, and when it is red, the market is trending down. So when MACD is red, especially when it is dark red, because it shows increasing of downside momentum, here in this indicator, we only take bearish crossovers, which is when the Z-score line crosses below the center line, like this one, this one, and this one. And on the other hand, when MACD histogram is green, we only take bullish crossovers where Z-score line crosses above the center line, like this case here or this case here. This was just an example to show you how you can use the crossing of Z-score line above or below the center line as a buy-sell signal inside a longer term trend of the market. But in another use case, you can also use this Z-score line for trend identification, which in this case, we need to change the settings of the indicator. So we go to the settings of the indicator, and here in the inputs tab, here for look back period, we set it at 100. so the indicator will better perform for trend identification. Alright, as you can see with the settings that we made, the Z-score line is not very sensitive in the pullbacks or short-term momentum changes, and the line stays more consistent above or below the center line. As you can see, when the line is above the center line and green, the market is trending up, and when the line is below the center line and red, the market is trending down. Later, I will add another indicator which we will use it for buy-sell signals within the trend that we identify by the help of Z-score line. So make sure you watch this video until the end. Alright, we have another component here, which is this histogram at the middle of the indicator. This shows positive and negative momentum in a very short-term perspective. When we have green bars, it shows accelerating positive momentum and Z-score value, and when we have red bars, it shows accelerating negative momentum and Z-score values. The height of the bar is also a measure of strength for momentum changes between the bars. When the Z-score line is green and showing uptrend in the market, when we get red bars in the histogram, it can be an early signal that a reversal is probably going to happen, or it can also be a signal for a pullback within the uptrend, exactly like what happened here. So in this situation of green Z-score line, when we get green bar after red bars, it can be a signal that the pullback ended and the price is gonna advance more. Similarly, when Z-score line is red and showing downtrend in the market, when we have green bars, it can be a sign for pullback, and when we get red bar, it can be a signal that the pullback ended and the price is gonna decline more. But as I said, this histogram is showing very short-term momentum changes that are happening in the market. So during the times that, for example, the price is moving flat, you can have many false signals, because as I explained earlier, this histogram changes color and position on every small movement of the price. And in practice, this histogram is useful only for fine-tuning your trade entry or exit. For finding trading opportunities, we want to have an indicator that can also help us with the times that the market is flat, so we can filter the false signals. One excellent indicator for this purpose is Andean oscillator. This one, which is an editor specs indicator and written by Alex Grover. Alright, this is the indicator, and it's one of the best trend indicator that you can use because it can help you with both of trending and non-trending market. You can see that we have three lines here in this indicator: green, orange, and red. When the green line is above the other two, it shows advancing of the price. When the red line is above the other two, it shows decline of the price. And in times that the orange line is above the other two, it shows that the market is flat. We're going to use Andean oscillator for buy-sell signal and this indicator for trend identification. When this indicator is green, we must look for long position opportunities. In Andean oscillator, we look for the times that the green line crosses above the red line and then crosses above the orange line. To decrease our risk, we don't take the signals like this, where the green line goes below the orange line and again crosses back above the orange line, because in this situation, we can encounter end of trend and beginning of flat market, exactly like what happened here. So we want a setup like this, where the green line crosses above the red line and then after that crosses above the orange line. So the buy signal here is confirmed and we can enter a long position at this point when the new candle is opened. The stop loss below the previous swing low and profit target at 1.5 risk to reward ratio. On the other hand, when Z-score line is below the center line and red and telling us that the market is trending down, we look for short position opportunities. In this situation, here in Andean oscillator, we look for the times that the red line crosses above the green line and then after that crosses above the orange line. So here the sell signal is confirmed and we can enter a short position at this point when this new candle is opened. The stop loss above the previous swing high and profit target at 1.5 risk to reward ratio. Please pay attention that this trading strategy will not give you 100% win rate. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, trading is a game of probabilities, and in this game, you will never have 100% chance to win a trade. Losing positions are always part of the game and you need to manage your risk properly. There is a risk management strategy that is called 1% rule, and it's one of the best risk management strategies that you can use. I have a complete guide on this. The link is also placed in the description and I highly recommend you to watch it, because without a proper risk management strategy, you cannot become a consistently profitable trader. Alright, that's it. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions, feel free to ask and leave a comment for me. I'll answer your questions as soon as possible. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe and hit the bell so you get the notifications of my new videos. See you guys in next video and good luck with your trading.